A car is a motor vehicle with at least 4 wheels used to transport people or goods. A car's main purpose is to carry out transportation, that is, people use it to get from point A to point B, transport goods, and perform various work. Today it is extremely difficult to imagine our lives without cars. People need vehicles every day to get to work, drop children off at a kindergarten or school, meet relatives at the airport or train station, plan a weekend picnic, and much more. City life is full of goals and tasks that need to be solved in the shortest possible time. Therefore, a car is no longer a luxury, but a means of transportation. And yet, nowadays cars may allow its owners to stand out from the grey mass. Depending on the amount of money available, modern brands can offer a wide spectrum of designer and construction solutions. Humans have always sought ways to move faster and with a greater comfort. Even in fairy tales, such vehicles as a magic carpet, Yemile's oven, or Baba Yaga's mortar are mentioned. And yet serious work on the creation of vehicles began in the second half of the 18th century. At that time, the focus was placed on steam engines, which ran mainly on coal. Fun fact, the term driver and chauffeur did not have the same meaning at all. The driver was the one who drove the car, while the chauffeur was the person who kept fire in the furnace and watched the steam. In 1885, Karl Benz, a German mechanical engineer, designed and built the world's first car powered by an internal combustion engine. On January 29, 1886, Benz received his first patent for gasoline cars. It was a 3-wheeled vehicle. Only 5 years later, the German engineer invented his first 4-wheeled cars. And 9 more years later, Karl Benz became the world's largest car manufacturer. His Benz Velo was the first standardized vehicle. At that time, the Karl Benz plant produced more than 130 cars a year, and this was an unthinkable result. He was the first inventor and designer who managed to integrate internal combustion engines into the original chassis that they made. That's how the history of the world's automotive industry began, which continues growing to this day, adding millions of cars of various designs to the current map of the global market. What cars are being produced in Kazakhstan? We will find out in this episode of our program. The history of Kazakhstan's automotive industry dates back to 2003, when the first Niva car was manufactured. At that time, only a few thousand vehicles were produced in the country, while the product line included only cars by VAZ manufacturer. The bulk of the country's car market was imported from other countries. A key stage in the development of Kazakhstan's car industry began in 2010. It took several years to develop mechanisms of state support for the industry. The government has taken measures to stimulate the industry, such as VAT preferences, introduction of a recycling fee, the development of a preferential lending and leasing program, as well as ways of supporting exports of locally produced cars. Also, an industrial cooperation program was launched. Globally renowned brands accessed the local market, aiming to establish their car plants in Kazakhstan. As for the production of commercial machinery, global players were attracted to the country at that time. The first major manufacturer was KAMAZ, as it made its way into the Kazakh market in 2005. Then brands such as Daewoo, Hyundai, Iveco, Ankai, and many others opened their production facilities in Kazakhstan. As a result, in a short period of time, an entire industry with tens of thousands of jobs was created, including related industries, bringing regular income to the national budget in the form of tax payments. To date, all categories of vehicles are being manufactured in Kazakhstan. 167 car models are assembled in the country, including 39 passenger cars by 22 globally known brands.
На нашем предприятии на сегодняшний день работает 2400 человек.
Our company currently employs 2,400 people. This project will allow increasing the number of jobs and employ 350 to 400 new people. We are currently intensely working on localization of our production. Localization makes it cheaper because we are now wasting a lot of time and resources on logistics. If we are based here and produce components on the territory of Kazakhstan, it will be much cheaper and faster.
Производить компоненты на территории Казахстана, это будет намного дешевле и быстрее.
Currently, car manufacturing is one of the most rapidly developing industries. Since 2010, more than 130 new automotive enterprises worth about 400 billion tenge have been commissioned in the country. More than 14,000 jobs have been created. Domestic car production, being the driver of the manufacturing industry, has been and remains a priority for the government. Car manufacturing grew 9.4% in 2022, as the increase within 4 months of 2023 totaled 36%. The car demand in the Republic of Kazakhstan is estimated at $23 billion, whereby locally made automobiles make up only $3 billion in this amount. In this regard, there is a significant potential for industry's growth, which will allow to conduct import substitution. Our task is to increase the competitiveness of car manufacturing enterprises by creating affordable financial instruments, introducing new technologies, increasing local content, and promoting exports. According to the Bureau of National Statistics, 113,925 vehicles of all types were produced in Kazakhstan within 12 months of 2022. The growth compared to the previous year was almost 22%. The overall performance of the automotive industry in monetary terms is 1,200 billion tenge. Meanwhile, efforts to boost production volumes and strengthen partnership with global car manufacturers are ongoing in the country. Thus, during a working trip to the Kostanay region in January 2023, the Kazakh president visited the car factory. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev learned about the enterprise's operations and was briefed on its development outlook for the upcoming period. The plant's management informed that the enterprise manufactured products worth 614 billion tenge in 2022. Exports amounted to 21.5 billion tenge. President Tokayev took part in the launch of completely knocked-down manufacturing in the city of Kostanay, as Kia Sportage cars are to be produced at the new line. CKD is a completely knocked-down manufacturing that includes assembly of cars as well as welding and painting works in special workshops. These manufacturing technologies for Kia are located exclusively in Kazakhstan among Central Asia and the CIS.
Это модель нового поколения, где мы разрешение получили от Kia Corporation производство на территории Казахстана, именно в городе Костанай, на нашем производственной площадке.
This is a new generation model where we received permission from Kia Corporation to manufacture it on the territory of Kazakhstan in the city of Kostanay, at our production site. And during the project's implementation and launching, we gained tremendous experience where engineers from equipment suppliers and Kia Corporation arrived and trained our employees. First of all, this was a massive contribution to the development of our enterprise, as our professionals got qualified and our CKD manufacturing practices were upgraded. Today we have an enterprise and a new workshop in place where welding of this model is performed. We have about 49 stations and nearly 3,000 welding points where the car body is welded. At the paint shop we apply paints. We have already learned to apply 5 colors. Together with Kia engineers, we have programmed our robots as our employees underwent training. And in the future, if we add new colors, our professionals will be able to program our robots on their own. And the last shop is the assembly workshop, a new one. We launched it together with engineers, and it meets latest technological requirements.
Цех – это цех сборки. Это новый цех по последним технологиям. Совместно с инженерами было запущено. Там около 1300 деталей.
There are nearly 1,300 parts for the car assembly. We have sections for the assembly of doors, as well as sections for the assembly of the car's front in this workshop.
Автомобиля. И это все в этом цехе укомплектуется автомобиль интерьером и выходит.
After the car's interior is completed, it is ready for sale. In the same workshop, we have installed and launched the testing equipment where cars are being tested.
Это развал схождения, тормозная, скорость.
This includes wheel alignment as well as braking distance and geometry check. Engineers of the company that issues permits for us pay particularly special attention to the quality of cars.
Разрешение от специалистов Kia. Благодаря этому проекту мы колоссальный опыт получили.
This project allowed us gaining tremendous experience whereby our employees learned new practices. They can use these techniques on their own without any involvement of foreign specialists. There were about 50 foreign engineers at our enterprise. Our staff were trained in welding, assembly and painting of cars.
Где проходилось обучение сварки автомобилей, сборки автомобилей, окраски автомобилей.
However, the Kazakh and Korean partners decided not to stop at assembling just one car model. In the near future, they're planning to commission a manufacturing unit of another model by the Korean car giant in Kostanay. Thus, there are specific plans which are being consistently implemented.
Я думаю, что это хорошее производство.
I believe that this is a good production plant. Kia Sportage cars are in high demand. There is a high production culture here. We will attract investors as we will also work with existing ones. I believe that this plant has a good future.
Именно эту модель производственную мощность 25 тысяч в год.
This particular model's production capacity is 25,000 per year with ample export capacity. It is very popular. There is a demand for this car already. We are currently working on increasing the share of local content for this model. Also, we are negotiating with large manufacturers that produce components for Kia Corporation. We envision to have them here on the territory of the Kostanay region so that they produce car components for the model that is being manufactured at our enterprise. We are working on boosting exports. Our current focus are neighboring countries. We will negotiate it with the company. If the factory in Korea receives orders, they will redirect them to us. The next stage of expanding this car's product line is the manufacturing of Kia Cerato. We have already received the car body, meanwhile we are adapting the equipment. We are planning to start CKD manufacturing by the end of the year.
Оборудование и планируем к концу года уже начать мелким узлом производить. Наше предприятие, кроме Kia, производит...
In addition to Kia, our enterprise manufactures Chevrolet cars. Another car model is Jack, as we have already launched the CKD manufacturing of this car. It's Jack S3. As for Chevrolet, we're planning to launch its Onyx model. We're currently working with JM representatives. They have already visited us. At the moment, we are detailing the technological framework for this endeavor in our workshop. Our enterprise has enough room and capacity for this initiative. Kazakhstan has potential. Even South Korean experts spoke highly of the quality of our output and the professionalism of our staff, in particular, their ability to acquire new skills and the desire to grow. They were impressed. Another thing that made them appreciate us is that we fulfilled all logistics commitments during the pandemic. They hold us in high esteem.
В период пандемии, сложности в логистике, все сделали и реализовали в график. Это была большая оценка.
Today, car factories offer stable employment for various professionals in the country. College graduates can be employed here, and with due efforts, they can grow and be promoted to leadership positions. Everything is possible if there is a desire to work and bring value.
Мы сотрудничаем с местными учебными заведениями. У нас есть метод дуального обучения.
We cooperate with local educational institutions as we have dual education in place. Currently, we are in continuous collaboration with the Road College, which has already started teaching professions that are required for our company. Previously, we used to waste time on training staff, whereas today they come fully trained. These individuals are employed as the third category professionals. They undergo paid practical training at our premises. Our social package includes free lunch and transportation. After completing the internship, they receive certificates. If they have passed all the exams and graduated from the educational institution, they can come to our company with that certificate and be employed without a probationary period for a month or 3, which is obligatory at other enterprises. They are capable of performing their duties and can join the manufacturing process right away. This year, we're planning to build a hostel for our employees. The hostel will be 250 bedded. We want to build a campus-type residence with everything provided in the rooms, including a water closet, so that our employees or students residing there enjoy all conveniences. We reward our employees with bonuses for their contribution or the ideas that they share with us. We discuss it all together. We have our own training center where we evaluate our employees. We have a pool of high potential employees. Those who are included in this list have access to various growth opportunities. They can implement new projects and act as project leaders. We saw some of the most rapid promotions in our company. Those who worked as locksmiths in our workshops are currently managers, deputy directors, or project leaders of various kinds.
Уже опыт есть, что у нас те же специалисты, которые у нас работали здесь в цеху, слесаря, они уже руководители, заместители директора или руководители проекта других направлений, именно вот по промышленности.
The number of cars in Kazakhstan is growing every year. Thus, according to Marat Akhmedjanov, the Kazakh Minister of Internal Affairs, since 2019 until today, the number of vehicles has increased from 3,900,000 to 5 million cars. That being said, the vehicle fleet is aging. The service life of more than 50% of cars in the country exceeds 20 years. Accordingly, this leads to their deterioration and therefore increases the risk of accidents on the country's roads. As the minister said, proper control over technical condition of vehicles is not ensured. After easing the requirements for opening technical inspection centers, the practice of issuing fake certificates became widespread. Thus, the Anti-Corruption Service eliminated an organized criminal group, which sold 350,000 permitting documents worth 600 million tenge. Over the past 4 years, the number of vehicles that have not undergone a technical inspection has decreased by half. It was 6.3% in 2018 and 3% in 2021. This is very doubtful. Data show that 13,407 road accidents were registered in Kazakhstan in 2022, which is 9.2% more than a year earlier, including 5,000 pedestrian hit-and-run accidents, 3,200 vehicle collisions, 1,200 rollovers, 514 hits on obstacles, 339 passenger falls. As a result of road accidents, 19,511 people were injured, as 12% of them were killed and 88% injured. Most of the accidents occurred in Almaty city as well as the Almaty and Zhambyl regions. According to statistics, Monday is recognized as the most dangerous day for driving in 2022. The least number of traffic accidents happened on Thursdays. According to reports by analytical companies, almost 78.5 million new passenger and light commercial vehicles were sold globally in 2022. This is 3.3% less than in the same period of 2021. China, which controls a quarter of global sales, confidently occupies the first place. The United States were leading in this ranking until 2009, however they are second at the moment. India saw an unprecedented growth in sales by 23% and it is third now. Japan accordingly was pushed to the fourth position. It is interesting to know that the first car drawings were made by Leonardo da Vinci. European engineers later confirmed that his calculations were correct. The world's first racing car was designed in 1900. Its engine capacity was 35 horsepower. The Bugatti Veyron supercar at its peak speed consumes as much oxygen in a minute as a person consumes in a week. This car accelerates to 430 kilometers per hour. One of the longest traffic jams in the world, the length of which was about 200 kilometers, happened in 1980 in France. The fastest car in the world is equipped with a thrust CCS jet engine. It broke the sound barrier and reached a speed of 1,229 kilometers per hour. Two jet engines with a total capacity of 110,000 horsepower were installed on the car. The volume of its fuel tank is 1,125 liters, while the fuel consumption is 18 liters per second, which is unimaginable for regular cars. Belarusian Belaz 75710 quarry truck is the largest car in the world. The height of this model is more than 8 meters, while the weight is 800 tons. There are quite a lot of advantages of owning a private transport. However, there is a great deal of responsibility as well. After all, driving a car entails potential risks and can pose a threat. Therefore, controlling a car requires mindfulness and caution, as the lives of both drivers and passengers are at stake. Choose locally manufactured products and be careful on the roads. Have a good trip.